Hello there, and a very warm welcome again to the France Buying Guide. Well, I've had a couple of emails this week about what you need to do or declare to become a tax resident in France. It's a little bit of a grey area, but I've done some research into this, and there are four main criteria, any one of which would mean that you are a tax resident. The first one is if your home is in France, and the home means where your main home is or where your family lives. The second one is if your principal place of residence is in France. For example, you'll have France as your principal place of residence if you spend more than 183 days there per year, and in that case you will be considered as a French resident. The next one is if you have business activities in France, whether salaried or otherwise. If you can show that your business activity is in that country, then you will be considered a tax resident. Lastly, if it's the centre of your economic interest, meaning that if you have your main investments in France or they're managed from France, or that you derive the majority of your income from French sources such as rental or a business or any other such income. But the crucial point to remember here is that not all of these criteria have to be met, as I said at the start. Compliance with any of these clauses renders you tax resident in France. So you kind of need to ask yourself the question, where do I live? It actually has quite an advantage to be a tax resident in France because one thing is that it's far more likely that you'll be able to claim exemption from capital gains tax when you sell your French home. And another thing is if you're over 60 and on a modest income, you can usually escape one of the taxes. There's taxe d'habitation and taxe foncière. So the taxe d'habitation you can either have lowered or you can escape it entirely. The important thing is to get down to your tax office when you're in France and you feel that you meet any of these criteria. So that's really it for this week. I hope this finds you well. We are heading back to France with all our goods and chattels from our home in England and looking forward very much to seeing the sunshine again. Speak to you next week. Bye.